Hi, hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day of the year from the 5e PHB plus 3. Those plus 3 spells are homebrew spells. We're at plus 2 at the moment. Get it back. Nope, we're at plus 3. Get it back in the playlist to find them. Today's spell is Wind Wall. You thought we were done with walls?
There's a pyro in our spawn just doing the infinite air blast glitch forever.
It's not a glitch, it's an exploit. There's a difference, and only noobs say it's the same thing. Hey, why are you kicking me? For fuck's sake?
Actually,
Hey, no,
it's
why
not
are
a
you running
vote
at
kick,
one?
it's actually a democratic procedure.
Third level evocation, casting time of 1 action, range of 120 feet, opponent's verbal somatic material, a tiny fan, and a feather of exotic origin. Duration, concentration, up to 1 minute. What determines the exotic origin part of a material component? Are all material components relative to the caster? A wall of strong wind rises from the ground at a point you choose within range. You can make the wall up to 50 feet long, 15 feet high, and 1 foot thick. You can shape the wall in any way you choose, so long as it makes one continuous path along the ground. The wall lasts for the duration. When the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a strength saving throw. A creature takes 3d8 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. The strong wind keeps fog, smoke, and other gases at bay. Small or smaller flying creatures or objects can't pass through the wall. Loose, lightweight materials brought into the wall fly upward. Arrows, bolts, and other ordinary projectiles launched at targets behind the wall are deflected upward and automatically miss. Boulders hurled by giants or siege engines and similar projectiles are unaffected. Creatures in gaseous form can't pass through it. That's a lot of specific things mentioned in that. Fun spell! Honestly, and the level it's at, not too bad for what it can do. But a big difference with wall spells is that if it's not a... it's only doing damage on the initial appearance and only in the direct line that it's going through. And if you wanted to block any kind of creature, it's only smaller that are flying and those in gaseous form, so a small list. But still something to take note of. Big thing with the spell is, one, the gaseous forms, or not gaseous forms, but the gaseous, clouds, fog, and such that are dispersed or can't pass through it. It's the projectiles. Yes, boulders, siege equipment, and in some settings I've even had to argue that black powder. But arrows, bolts, the usual. Spikes even? The shooting ones that a Manticore fires out. Just flat out can't go through. For third level spell, it's not the worst. Because we've talked about battlefield spells before. This is also a battlefield spell and a player use spell. If you're going up against an enemy that spams archers, specifically when it comes to the archer one, in a campaign I was running, a group of players, ambushed, currently an entire mercenary company had a bunch of archers in different windows in the square. They run into an alleyway, they cast wind wall behind them. That's it. They then had to charge in a melee, and they weren't specialized in that. Few characters got in, they died, rest left, because I'm a mercenary, I'm not going to risk my life running into melee there. It entirely eliminates a ranged option to anything that's using just conventional projectiles. The concentration does still hurt it. Not doubting that. But again, on a battlefield, if you know there's going to be an entire regiment of soldiers that all have bows, being able to cast this to block something, whether it be siege equipment, yeah, I guess catapults and stuff, but you block a spellcaster, because you can still see things through it, and anything that requires sight you can still cast. I mean, that's not bad. Not to mention if you're going into an encounter with a lot of, I forget what those nasty creatures are. They're basically like the weird bat mosquitoes. Sturges. Fairies, pixies, swarms of insects. Giant insects. Giant insects medium or small? Anywho, most of those will be caught up in this and can't pass through it, so it acts as a physical barrier for them as well. Not the worst for a third level spell slot that could potentially eliminate that threat. The issue with it though is it is just a straight wall. It's not zigzag like some of the other options or cylindrical. It's just, it can go up to 50 feet. It's 15 feet tall. No, it can go up to 50 feet wide or long, 15 feet tall, 1 foot thick. And the damage on the initial, you're not casting this for damage at the start. It's nice. It's an interesting bonus, at least to throw in, but the fact that the damage is a bonus. Namely eliminating the projectile question. I would understand this would be too powerful at second. Third, with other spells you'd probably be casting around that level, it's a bit debatable to pick this up. Not to mention because it's niche and situational, aka gaseous things, some smaller flying creatures, and conventional projectiles. 5 out of 10. And I hark against it. I think in the right situations it's a great spell, or a pretty good spell. But that's it. It's niche, it's pretty good, bit limited. This time our actual last wall.